What up, YouTube? And welcome to this debut episode of Rich of Finesse. In this video, we're going to be talking about the sentencing of former Instagram influencer and international money launderer Ramon Abbas, popularly known as Hushpuppi, to 11 years in federal prison. This sentencing comes after Abbas pleaded guilty in April 2021 to one count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering. Let's take a look at how Abbas conspired with other scammers to perpetrate fraud on a global scale, and how his penchant for flexing ultimately led to his downfall. Let's get right into it. On Monday, the 7th of November 2022, the 40-year-old was sentenced in Los Angeles by United States District Judge Otis D. Wright. He was ordered by the judge to pay nearly $2 million in restitution to two fraud victims, the victims being a New York-based law firm and a Qatari businessman who was defrauded of $1.1 million. You would recall that on July 10, 2020, Hushpuppi was arrested in Dubai by special agents comprised of the FBI, Interpol, and the Dubai police in an operation dubbed Fox Hunt 2. He was picked up simultaneously with 12 other suspects on multiple fraud charges for crimes committed in different parts of the world, and was subsequently extradited to the United States of America to stand trial for the charges. This indictment came as a shock to the habitual Instagram flexer who almost gave Birdman a run for his money. In this raid, nearly $41 million in cash, 13 luxury vehicles worth $6.8 million, and more than a dozen phones and computers containing more than 100,000 fraud files and the addresses of nearly 2 million possible victims were found. Now, the fraud files mentioned here could mean the social security numbers, the date of birth, driver's license, and the spammed bank account logins of victims, all of which are easily accessible on the dark web for a fee. Hushpuppi's conviction comes as a result of his role in conducting business email compromise schemes, otherwise known as BEC schemes, online bank heists, and other cyber-enabled fraud that cumulatively caused more than $24 million in losses and provided assistance to the North Korean regime. A BEC fraud scheme often involves a computer hacker gaining unauthorized access to a business email account, blocking or redirecting communications to and from that email account, and then using the compromised email account or a separate fraudulent email account, sometimes called a spoof email account, to communicate with personnel from a victim company and to attempt to trick them into making unauthorized wire transfers. The fraudster then directs the unsuspecting personnel of the victim company to wire funds to the bank account of the third party, sometimes referred to as the money mule, which is often a bank account owned and controlled or used by the individuals involved in the scheme. According to the criminal complaint filed by FBI Special Agent Andrew John Innocenti on the 25th of June 2020, Abbas was very instrumental in laundering the money stolen from these schemes by way of providing bank accounts to receive the funds. In one of such instances, Abbas conspired with one Galip Alomori, a 37-year-old Canadian, in January 2019 to launder funds stolen from a bank in Malta by providing account information for banks in Romania and Bulgaria. It later became apparent that the illicit financial flow was made possible from a cyber heist carried out by government-backed North Korean hackers, with a targeted amount being approximately $14.7 million. Again in 2019, Abbas conspired with Alomori to launder millions of pounds stolen from a professional soccer club in the United Kingdom, as well as a British company. According to court documents, text messages received in the course of the investigations shows that Abbas provided Alomori with details of a bank account in Mexico that could hold millions and not block. Alomori was charged separately and pleaded guilty in November 2020 to one count of conspiracy to engage in money laundering. The 37-year-old has been convicted and is serving a 140-month federal prison sentence and will be paying restitution in excess of $30 million. In a separate BEC scheme, Abbas also fraudulently induced a New York-based law firm in October 2019 to transfer approximately $922,857 to an account that a co-conspirator controlled under someone else's name. He also admitted to conspiring with others to defraud a Qatari businessman who sought a loan of $15 million to build a school. Now, in the grand scheme of things, during just an 18-month period, Hushpuppi conspired to launder over $300 million. Albeit much of this intended amount ultimately wasn't realized, Abbas's willingness and ability to participate in large-scale money laundering highlights the seriousness of his criminal conduct. The Instagram account of Abbas, under the handle Hushpuppi, which has since been taken down, was awash with pictures that depicted a glamorous jet-setting lifestyle. Evidently, PLS at that level and by far the flashiest scammer to ever ply that trade. So much so that American rapper/producer Curtis Jackson aka 50 Cent, who served as an executive producer on the hit show Power and a BMF TV series, has announced that he will be producing a show based on the life of the convicted scammer. At the sentencing hearing on Monday, the 7th of November 2022, Assistant U.S. Attorney Kaldin Shobaki scoffed at Abbas's claim of being lured into money laundering because of financial difficulties, pointing to the fact that he bought a $230,000 watch with his cash from the scam perpetrated against the Qatari businessman. I don't understand why people kept coming back to you to launder money for them if you didn't know anything about money laundering, the judge told Abbas during the 2.5-hour hearing. I'd like to apologize to the victims, Abbas said at the hearing. I'm very, very sorry. The Nigerian's luxury cars, including 2 Rolls Royces, were confiscated by the police in Dubai when he was arrested, and the value of his vehicles would be enough to cover the restitution payments if they were forfeited to the Justice Department. The 135-month sentence conformed to the government's request, a far cry from the opulent lifestyle that he lived on social media. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, kindly like, comment, and subscribe.